Okay, it survived all of the updates, and we're actually working. Hooray!
Woo.
Alright, so here we are back again for more adventures in Paris. Super quick recap of the last few sessions. You came to Paris because you were going to attend an event hosted by Arsène Lupin VII. Since getting here, you've met some people. You've had some run ins with the harvesters who you soundly trounced. You've befriended a monk and then some. You've met up with a woman from Atlas Academy who is apparently in town for the party as well. You went to the cafe where you were going to meet Arsène Lupin and discovered some weird stuff going on there. Namely, all of the people in the cafe seemed to be stuck in a bit of a loop for about a day. You figured out that was going on, and you freed them from that loop. And in the process, you met a person who apparently works for Lupin, and Lupin was talking through, who was also trying to figure out what was going on there. That was sort of left in a bit of a weird spot. But after getting through all of that adventure, you sort of split off for the day. So Penelope went to take a nap and get back her spells before the event happens that evening. And Anise went shopping. Also, throughout all of this, you've been shopping. You've been to several places, bought some fun souvenirs and all that. But Anise went to a kind of sketchy Chinese food place that doubles as a front for Magecraft World items. And under the guise of buying General So chicken, you actually bought a bag of holding, which is apparently used. And you traded a bunch of potions that you'd made for that. So the bartering has occurred. In general, the place gave you a really skeevy feeling because when you looked over the special menu, you saw a lot of things that felt more like they were components used in spells and not the savory kind. But regardless, you got out. Nothing bad seemed to happen. So that's cool. And you got the bag. So you returned then to the hotel. And Penelope has just wrapped up her night of rest. So you are now going to get a chance to actually prep and go to this event and do anything else you want to do before then. So, super high level. If anyone has tuned in on YouTube and wants to know more detail, hit the back button on YouTube. We've covered this for a few sessions now. Yeah. Internet. Oh, hey, we got a bot. That's fun.
Oh boy.
How kind of them. I wonder if this means that Twitch fixed the thing where you can't interact with things from Twitch. Or from OBS.
That's a good question.
Um, I don't know. I don't think OBS is letting me get rid of the bot post, so maybe it's still bad.
Gonna use mod action. I'm gonna try. Oh my goodness. Okay.
There we go. It worked. They fixed it. Hooray. Well worth restarting OBS. Well done. Cool. Anyway, so yeah, you're back. Penelope, you just had a nap and you got all your spells back.
Yay.
You are free to update your sheet as needed for anything that you get back on a rest.
Okie dokie. Uh, uh, oh, that's weird. Either I updated this last time or it just auto-updated, and that's cool.
Updated as in gave you back all your stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, could be. It's possible last time I just clicked the rest button and forgot, since you were resting. And we have buttons for that.
Sure.
Yeah, and Anise, you should have your bag in your inventory. I think we added that last time. Just gonna make sure it's there. Yep, it just says bag right now because you haven't formally identified it, but you know what it is. So cool. So, yep. Anise has just returned. She's got a giant Santa Claus bag, and she's got Chinese takeout. And Penelope is awake, and Jameson is sitting off to the side with a computer doing manager stuff.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Okay, that yawn was real, but I'm just rolling with it.
It was in character. You just woke up.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that was a good night.
I'm glad you were able to get some rest.
Yeah, me too.
I went to these restaurants.
Oh, okay.
I got us a bag of holding and also some fortune cookies.
Is the bag of holding on the menu?
Oddly enough, yes.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Not an unsavory kind. It was a fine restaurant for what it was.
It sounds like a front to me.
It definitely is.
Oh.
Think of Harvester brand might sell the wares to them
Ew.
or through them.
Okay, then are you sure that those fortune cookies are actual cookies?
Oh no, the food is fine.
Did you eat the food?
I might have had some General Tso's.
And it was actual chicken.
It was actual chicken.
Okay. It wasn't like orc or something.
It was actual chicken.
It tasted like General Tso's.
Tasted like General Tso's.
Ah.
Tea was tea, and the fortune cookies are probably, in fact, fortune cookies.
Cool.
I got 4.
Oh, yay.
1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for your manager, and 1 for my bird.
Ooh. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna open the fortune cookie.
Okay. So, are you reading the fortune?
Yeah.
Okay. So, per the tradition of opening fortune cookies, you open it the lucky number side first instead of the relevant side first. So you know it's at least like a normal fortune cookie.
Oh.
And when you flip it over and you read the actual fortune, it does say in English, "You were never here."
This is a really weird fortune.
What does mine say?
You were never here.
Oh.
Something tells me that they all say this.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the one for the other 2, the ones for James.
Yep, they all say you were never here. They are not subtle.
Are the numbers all the same? Or
No, the numbers are different.
Well,
I don't like this fortune.
I'm just gonna give all the fortune cookie to Hemlock to eat.
Hemlock proceeds to eat fortunes and cookies.
Oh no, well, probably.
Oh no, that bird is gonna get so round. We're gonna have to put him like on a bird treadmill or something.
What?
He's gonna get so round because we keep feeding him things.
He's a magic bud. He'll be fine. Well, and I did get us a bag of holding.
Ooh.
I suspect that there might be things in it already, so we'll need to get those out before we start using it.
I guess we can turn it inside out over the bathtub or something.
Yes, that was the plan.
Okay. Do you want help?
I might need it. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll help.
We do that.
Okay.
Go into the bathroom.
All right. Okay, so let's see. All right, so yeah, you go into the bathroom, you pull over the shower curtain. It actually is kind of nice. It's like a real shower, not just one of the weird sliding glass ones that doesn't properly keep water out. And so yeah, you flip it over and you invert the bag so that everything has to spill out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here is what falls out. Is there a way for me to share this with you? Oh, we've still got all these other items in the list. gonna drag this over and we'll see if it just adds all the items or if it populates. Okay, just dump them in there. I'm just gonna read you the new stuff. But they are in the party sheet if you want to drag them to your respective lists. So first up, the biggest thing to come rolling out of this is like it's a giant bedroll. Like it's larger than the size that you would use, Anise. It's pretty hefty. You would wager whoever this is for is probably at least 7 or 8 feet tall. So that's the biggest thing. Thankfully, it doesn't have like a bunch of goo falling out. Everything is solid. You've got a glass bottle comes out. It's about half full of what looks like water. You might have to check it. But it's got a stopper in it. It's very traditional glass bottle cork. A loud clang happens as part of pouring the stuff out because a crowbar falls out. So it's a bigger clang as it hits the bottom of the tub. Doesn't break the tub, thankfully, but it's a crowbar. Let's see. Right, there's a few rations are in there. Standard food, like they don't seem to have expired, so that's nice. This is relatively recent. A whole bunch of rope comes rolling out, like to use the D&D vernacular, the suspiciously consistent 50 feet of rope come out. A little belt containing thieves' tools falls out, like lockpicks and the like. Some of those, and there's some lockpicks. There's like a tiny little mounted mirror, some scissors, pliers, stuff like that. It all falls out. And there's a locket.
Oh.
And I don't know if you can see the locket in the parcel item list or not. I don't know how your view compares to mine.
It just has a description.
Just a description?
Uh-huh.
Right. Okay, that's about right then. Yeah. So as you can tell from looking at the description on it, it contains a picture of a smiling woman with short black hair, brown eyes, and her features are very like chiseled and firm. It's almost like looking like a statue. But she seems happy.
How old does the picture look?
The picture looks like it's not too old. Like it's not black and white or anything like that. It looks like it was probably taken, I don't know, like the last 10 years. It looks like it's a real photo taken with a camera, not like a digital printout and not like just like a Polaroid. It's a photo. Film camera.
Oh. Neat.
You're both well traveled enough to recognize that the woman looks like a Goliath.
That would explain the giant bed.
Yes, would. Well,
Does not explain the crowbar.
I mean, the crowbar and the thieves' tools and the rope points to this being having belonged to a thief. Obviously.
That's true.
But that is all that falls out of it. You don't find any weird, mysterious stuff. It's just pretty standard equipment.
Well, I don't see the need in taking bedroll, but suppose we could put the thieves' tool and crowbar back in. Could be.
Yeah. Could work.
And the rope.
Yeah.
Don't know that the rash or the locket, for that matter. Suppose it belonged to a gentleman Goliath, and that's his wife.
Could belong to a lady Goliath. You don't know.
Do you suppose this is the wife of whatever Goliath bedroll belongs to? I
Maybe.
don't see. It's not a very common thing to keep a locket with a picture of yourself in it, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. And I was trying to say, maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
Me, my beloved.
Cut to Penelope hiding her locket of herself.
Shh, don't look.
They could never know.
They must never. What? Okay, so what does the locket itself actually look like?
The locket itself is it's a nice locket. It doesn't look like it's made of gold. It's more like a brass, like not a super valuable metal. Like whatever it is, clearly the people that you bought this from didn't decide it was worth pawning separately. They just sort of left it in the bag. It feels like it's probably more something that was sentimental.
Gotcha.
Is there a way to put things... Is there a way in Fantasy Grounds to denote the things are in the bag of holding, or do I just add them to my inventory?
I think in Fantasy Grounds the way that it works is you put them in the inventory of the person who's carrying the bag, and then like when you cycle through stuff, there's the clothing thing for equipped, and there's the bag for bag. And the bag represents either like your backpack or your bag of holding. I don't think it can actually tell what's in the bag versus just in your pack, but considering either way it takes the same amount of time to dig something out, it's kind of moot.
That's fair.
Do you want to transfer a bunch of your other stuff into a bag of holding?
Might. We'll see.
I could probably find a plugin that does it now that I think about it. It doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to code, just treating a bag as a folder.
Bag of folding.
Yeah. Well, just because it actually matters for the games that are using weight. I am sure someone's programmed it.
Yeah.
Because, like, the real appeal is you don't have to worry about that for your carrying capacity. Like,
Yeah.
we're not enforcing weight, so I'm not too worried about it, but...
Cool.
Oh, and I guess I'll, try and identify what's in that glass bottle.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm also trying to remember how dragging things out of the party... Like, I'm trying to drag it...
Clicking on the little square and dropping it, does that do it?
On the little square.
Uh...
No. Wait. Yes. That is how it works.
Okay, cool.
Oh, but I need... What do I roll for that? Investigation?
Oh, for trying to determine what the liquid is? Yeah, I think that would probably be investigation.
Survival? Probably water. That... Okay, I rolled a 19, but I don't see it pop up. I think I did.
You said you rolled a 19? Oh, there's a die. I'll go with the first one if you said you rolled a 19. I don't think you're lying about that. It's fine. It's water. I'm telling you that it's water.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just a normal, like, it's a glass bottle with a cork on it that just had presumably drinking water in it.
Cool, I will definitely dump it out.
Sure. You now have an empty glass bottle. You've achieved what Link works very hard to get. Da-da-da-da.
Hooray.
Good job.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have now turned that inside out. The current time of day is about 8 p.m. So if you want to get changed and do your hair and do all of that stuff, it's probably about that time.
Yeah.
Roll for hairdressing.
Roll for hairdressing.
Nice.
19.
Wow.
Majestic. You are a sculptor of hair. How are you doing up Anis's hair?
Okay, so I'm doing her hair in this like really nice fancy braid that's not like super tight, it's a little loose. And then it's got like bits of like moss and greenery and flowers just like woven into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do that successfully in such a way that it isn't tight against Anice's hair, but it's not going to fall out.
Yeah. You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Well, the time to do my own hair.
Also good.
Yay!
Huzzah.
See, I'm gonna go ahead and like pick the thing I'm gonna put in my bag. Ooh, what if we run into the Edelfelt there? Do you think they'd be at this party?
They might be 5-4.
Because I've still got that bag of gems that we found at the castle.
Oh, you brought it with you.
Not intentionally, but yes. Or did I? Oh no, I don't know. Yes, it's in my inventory. I don't know.
It's up to you.
It's there now.
You did it.
I don't. Could I put these in your bag of holding?
Sure.
People can't get into that, right?
I mean, they can, but I will keep it on me. So hopefully they can.
I'm gonna put the bag of gems in the bag of holding. So it's a bag in a bag.
Nesting has occurred.
I guess I just dropped it in the party sheet?
Yeah, I think after this session, what I'll do is I'll go through the party sheet and I'll clean it out of everything that's been claimed. And then maybe we'll just use the party sheet as the bag of holding.
Okay.
That might be the easiest way to do this.
So I'm gonna drag this to the back. Boom. Cool. Let's see. You. Me.
While you sort through that,
Okay.
I'm going to share the picture.
Ah. Oh, yeah! Fancy!
So majestic.
Bow tie on Hemlock.
Got a little bow tie.
How does he look?
Quite dapper.
Yeah.
Looks incredibly regal. You can barely see the crumbs from the fortune cookies.
Much bird. Hooray. They're so fancy.
All right. So yeah, you're both looking pretty snazzy.
Yay.
I'm
ready to roll.
Have you decided what you're doing with the extra invite?
Nope.
Fair enough.
We might as well hang on to it.
Might be useful.
Okay.
I kind of want to use it to bring Jameson along, but also I don't know, if we do give this guy his invitation back, I don't know. That might be helpful. I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
How will we even find in the first place?
That's a good question. I mean, well, we know what he looks like because the
So if we happen to spot him, could always. What did we do with his coat?
You should still have it.
Yeah, we still have it.
Probably put that in the bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we happen to see him, we can return his coat and his invitation, perhaps. If we don't, we have an invitation.
Yeah. We could, we'll have Jameson on standby and be like, all right, here we go. We got your invitation.
All right. So you're going to have him hang back at the hotel or come with you when you leave?
He's gonna come with us.
We might need to make an tedious far waiting.
Yeah. We'll just have him wait close by,
Okay.
just in case shit goes somewhere.
Fair enough. Okay, so it took you a little bit to get your hair and everything all made up and to transfer your stuff. So right at 10 o'clock local time, wherever it is that Penelope is keeping her invitation starts to glow.
Oh hey, the invitation. Pull it out of. You know what? I'm making an executive decision. That skirt has pockets.
You did it.
Hooray.
Anise is also going to have her bag, which she has folded the bag of holding up and stuffed into her bag.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it would look very weird for like fancy druid lady to just have like a burlap sack.
Right, like a big Santa Claus bag. Yeah. Yeah. Just as a reminder for how it works, like you can condense the big bag down pretty easily. It just won't work unless you can open the full top. You can't just like squeeze things into it via your bag. You'll have to take it out. But yeah, it works. Cool. So yeah, your invitation is glowing.
I'm gonna open it.
Okay. So I'm gonna say what Anna sees, then I'm gonna say what Penelope sees, okay?
Oh no. Okay.
So when you take it out and you look at it, for Anise, you see it glowing for a second, and then it just sort of stops glowing as Penelope's looking down at it. And that's about all you see. For Penelope, you see the words that are on it shift around a little bit, and it tells you to follow the white rabbit. And then the letters reshape themselves to look like a bunny and hop off the page and start hopping
shit.
towards the door.
I don't see the bunny.
You don't see the bunny at all. Nope.
Okay. Do you see that at all?
See what?
Okay, the words on my invitation just turned into a bunny, and it said to follow it. We gotta follow this bunny.
I will take your word for it.
All right, let's go. We're following the bunny.
Okay. All right. So when the bunny gets to the door of your room, it just jumps right through the door.
All right, we're leaving.
Okay.
Opening the door.
All right. When you get out in the hallway, you can see it hopping down towards the end of the hallway, and it jumps through the elevator.
Oh God. Okay. All right, let's go get on the elevator.
I follow.
Yeah, we're getting on the elevator.
All right. You chase through. You get on the elevator, and when you get on the elevator, you don't see the bunny anymore, but you see a small glowing, it almost looks like a sticker sitting over the ground floor button.
Push the button.
Okay, you do that. The elevator does not stop on the entire way down to the bottom floor. You got a good one.
Sweet.
All right, so you get down there, you open the door, walking out into the lobby. You can see the nice people who weren't very helpful for finding Anise the night before, but they're on duty. They're like, sort of nodding at you, being very polite. Roll me a perception check to see if you can find the bunny.
Oh God. Perception. Wait. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so while you're looking around in the lobby, you don't see the bunny immediately, but then you notice one of the people who is like leaving the lobby, like they had just, I guess, were going out to dinner or something. They have on a t-shirt, and it has a cute rabbit on the back of it. And they are walking out the front door.
All right, we gotta follow that guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Following that guy.
and from Anice's standpoint, none of this is visible. You just are following Penelope. Jameson is also tagging along to sort of trusting you crazy mage people in your nonsense. Is Hemlock visible right now?
No.
Okay, there's an invisible bird. Good news, the bow tie disappears with the bird.
Oh, good.
So you don't have a floating bow tie. The bow tie and the mask both disappear with the bird. So that's always nice. Yep. So that person goes out the front. You are following. When you get outside, as mentioned, it's 10 p.m. It's kind of dark out here now. You're back in street lamp world. You can't see where the person went, but you notice on the opposite side of the street at another building, there appears to be some graffiti, and it looks like a rabbit jumping off to the left.
I'm gonna head towards it.
Towards the graffiti?
Yeah.
Okay. So you cross the street. No cars hit you. Good job.
Right.
When you get closer and you check the rabbit on it, it immediately sort of springs to life, but still two-dimensional, and it just starts hopping alongside the edge of the building off in a direction towards the more crowded city direction, not the creepy, halflings getting kidnapped direction. So you're going to the nicer part of town. And it's hopping along.
All right, we're going this way now.
Okay.
Still following.
Okay. So you're still following. Cool. That is good. You're keeping up with it. Okay. Like, it is getting some decent distance with each of its hops, almost like a cartoon where like each hop takes it a little further than the last one. Eventually it goes around a corner at the end of a block.
I'm gonna also go around that corner.
All right. You're gonna have to do another perception check to see if you can find it because it's not on the wall anymore.
Oh god. Oh no!
All right. You're having trouble seeing where this rabbit went.
Shit.
So in terms of stuff that's around you here, you can see a bunch of outdoor restaurants, people sitting around eating a bit of a late dinner. There's a crowd of people. There's, walking back and forth. There's a bunch of cars, horns honking. There's a tour bus going by. There's a lot going on, and it's really hard to find the rabbit in the midst of that. What direction do you want to go in and see if maybe you can pick it up again?
I guess I'll walk towards the crowd of people.
Okay, the crowd of people outside near the restaurants.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you cross the street. You're looking around in there. It's pretty busy. Like, yeah, it's 10 p.m., but it's 10 p.m. in Paris, so like still very active. Lots of people eating. Anise can feel a little bit of weight shifting on her shoulder as presumably your bird is hopping off to find some spare food. One of the tables was recently emptied, so the food is still there, but the two people got up and left, and some of the food starts to fall off the table, and then a bird appears under the table and starts eating it, as is his way. While that's happening, you can do another perception check.
Okay. No.
It's funny because if you were rolling a 1, you could re-roll it.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
Okay. So yeah, Hemlock is having a good time. You're having trouble finding a rabbit though.
Yep.
Getting the impression that maybe this isn't the right direction. Would you like to go check a different one?
Yeah, well.
Okay. So directions to choose from here. You can go away from the restaurants towards the part of the street that had, like I said, the cars, the tour buses, the whatever. It's a little bit more traffic, but there are people going by in bikes and stuff like that. Or you can go in the direction that has more like late night street performer crowd. So it's less people sitting down and eating and more, foot traffic in both directions. But there's like a guy juggling. There's some mimes. There's a few people that are breaking trademarks on copyrighted characters and taking pictures with tourists. You are welcome to pick a path.
I'm gonna go that way.
All right, cool. So you're going that way. Yeah, like I said, you see some people juggling. There's a guy with they're not really bowling pins, but they kind of remind you of them, sticks.
Yeah.
So he's tossing those up and down while having a conversation with the crowd, telling some jokes. You, as a bard, understand how this game is played. Like, you get attention, they throw you some money. There's a 50-50 shot that he's got a friend in the crowd who's getting him more money. Such is the nature of playing on tourists. So that's pretty neat. Also around, you can see, like I said, a bunch of trademark characters taking selfies with people, lots of tourists getting up. Like, I say selfie as if we're quite at that level yet. It's not really like real selfies so much as asking other people to take pictures of you with a little wind up disposable cameras.
Yeah.
But they're getting their vacation shots. Now that you're in this new environment, you can do perception if you want to take a look around, or if you've got a hunch about a direction you want to check more specifically, you can do an investigation check and maybe shake something out.
I'm gonna try one more perception roll.
Okay.
Ugh.
No, that's fine. You just needed to get a 10.
Okay.
So one of the people in a character costume is a giant white rabbit.
Oh my god.
I was really worried if you hit another 2 because I don't know how to not tell you that one of them is a giant white rabbit, but we got there. Yeah, so they're a giant white rabbit costume, and they're taking a few selfies with people, and then about the time the big, glass-eyed mascot character looks over in your direction, it sort of turns and walks away from the whole crowd.
Alright, follow that giant rabbit. Let's go.
Do I actually see the rabbit?
You do not see a giant rabbit.
Oh god.
What rabbit? What are you talking about?
Oh gosh. Okay, just yeah, keep following me. I'm gonna follow this giant rabbit.
Okay.
No, I literally took a nap the whole time.
All right, so yeah, chasing the giant rabbit costume person. They're moving pretty fast now that it's clear that they're running away from you. So each of you can give me an athletics check to try to keep up.
Oh my god, I'm doing this in heels.
Oh, do I also need to do...
Yep, if you want to try to keep up.
Oh no.
Gotta roll one for Jameson too. Oh, look at Jameson rolling a 17 like a boss.
Damn.
Your manager works out, apparently.
Clearly.
Okay, so unfortunately, Penelope, your shorter legs are not helping you in this instance of keeping up with this big bunny person. But Anise is holding a decent pace, chasing the person she can't see. And Jameson's doing pretty well, too. So how do you want to resolve that? Are you going to try to give them directions?
Yes. I'm also going to take off my heels.
Okay.
Because I have a sneaky suspicion that's what's not helping me.
Okay. That is fair.
Should have worn flats. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna point in the direction that the person in the rabbit costume is running. Be like, go ahead, head that way.
Okay.
Trust me. These heels aren't doing me any favors.
Would it be offensive for me to offer to carry you?
I could turn into a horse.
I mean, honestly, if somebody doesn't mind giving me a piggyback ride, I think that'll be fine.
Okay, so which tactic do you want to have? Do you want to ride your manager or a horse?
I think it would look weirder for a horse to suddenly appear in the middle of the street. I mean, either way.
It's up to the two of you.
Be a deer.
Oh my god.
Goat. Or a horse.
Anise, it would look really weird for an animal to just appear in the middle of the street.
And a giant centipede.
Oh my god, I'm not riding a giant centipede, Anise. Ew.
I really want Anise to turn into a giant spider.
No.
No, you're right. Here. Yeah. I'm not going to
Okay.
Alright, hold
go off a stand, but
All right. In that case, Jameson with his
on.
badass 17 athletics roll is going to sort of lean down and offer his, I guess, brave mount services. Noble steed, I believe, is the term that Saber uses. So sure,
Yeehaw.
you are now um, safely on the back of your manager and continuing forward. You've not lost sight of the rabbit yet. It's just a few blocks away. So given that,
Heading that way.
okay, so onward, you're chasing. It doesn't take that long to um, catch up, so you're not exactly on them yet, but you haven't lost sight. Going around a corner again, so we're gonna need you to do another perception check.
Oh no.
Okay, so you get around the corner, and once you're around the corner, you don't see a person in a rabbit costume anymore. You are now in a less crowded area, though. There are less things going on. Like, you're away from the big streets, and you're more getting into the residential areas. So, like, there's a bunch of high-rise buildings, multi-floors, lots of people outside. Well, not lots of people outside, like, in the streets, so much as you can see people sitting out on their little patios and stuff like that. A lot of people smoking, some people talking on their flip phones. Some people trying to enjoy the skyline of Paris, for hit or miss, based on how high up they are. But yeah, so you're in there, and like, you're not really seeing any rabbits at the moment.
Ugh. Hmm. Alright, I'm gonna hop back down.
Okay.
And... God, I don't know. Man, why didn't he just give us an address? I hate this. Mages suck. Why can't they just use addresses? Fuck. I guess I will go. I don't. So are there like any like stairs leading up to like a house or or like a townhouse or something?
Oh
That I
yeah,
could
there's some
walk-
stairs that give you like roof access if you're trying to get to a high spot.
Maybe not a high spot.
There's like fire escapes and stuff like that. Like, most of the stairs just go to like first floor things, and then you get upstairs from inside. To give you a
I
little
just
more detail on the space, so like right now you're kind of in like the apartments area. As you're looking further away from the bigger city area, you start to see houses, and then at the very like several blocks away end of things, you see what looks like the gates for a neighborhood.
Okay, hold on 2 seconds. I think our trash can just blew over outside.
Oh, good, yeah. Check for rabbits.
So, yeah, it did blow over.
Oh, good.
It is pouring rain.
Ooh.
And it's like the wind is blowing it sideways.
The trash can?
No, it's blowing the wind, or the wind blowing the rain sideways.
Horizontal rain. Got it. That's rough.
I had to go grab the trash can.
oh, dang,
Yeah, shit.
it's raining.
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard like a gust of wind and then heard just like a crash outside, and I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, I'm gonna go over towards, I guess, You said there was a gate?
Yeah, so like you're on a street now that for the first few blocks of this street, closer to downtown, it's a lot of like, apartments, high rise, like multi floor apartment things. Then there's a
Yeah.
few kind of like nicer houses. They look very old, like maybe they're like historic landmarks given where you are in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And then past those, you start to see more of the gated communities. It's not like there's just one gate, there's just a bunch of street access things that have big closing gates and roads going off to the sides that lead into neighborhoods or stuff like that. But it definitely looks more money at that end of the street.
All right, I'm gonna start walking towards that end of the street and looking around to see if I can see some sort of rabbit.
Okay. Um, since you're slowing down a little bit and you're looking, you can roll with advantage for perception this time. It's
Okay.
less running and freaking out and more taking your time to really take a look.
That one, and then.
Let's go with the 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as you're going through this time, it's kind of strange. So you're looking around, and what you can actually see is there's a rabbit, but the rabbit's not hopping along on the floor. It's not a guy in a costume or anything like that. It's actually a rabbit that appears to be it's the hardest way to describe this. If you can imagine like an origami folding of like a piece of paper to be an animal, there's like an origami folded rabbit, and it's sort of sitting on the street, folded out near one of the gates for the communities. Like it's just sort of sitting there all by itself. It's not super small though. This is like they took a big piece of paper to do it. Like you can see it from like 20 or 30 feet away now that you're looking for it. And it's near one of the gates.
I'm gonna go over and pick up that piece of paper.
Okay. When you pick up the piece of paper, you could swear that you saw the folded up rabbit suddenly have like a little eye like colored in, like with a felt pen or something, wink at you.
Oh, that's
And
weird.
then the wind blows and the paper flies out of your hands and through the gates for that community.
Oh shit.
And you can see from where you're standing, it flies through the gate. And unlike the other ones that were around this doesn't really go to a neighborhood. This goes to a long driveway with a big house at the end of it. And you see the paper floating through the air, and then it just sort of flaps itself up against the door.
All right, we have to go through this gate.
All right.
I'm gonna try and open the gate.
So the gate is it's locked right now,
Damn.
but you can see that there's a guy who is apparently sitting here in like a tiny little gatehouse about halfway up this driveway, who is pointing down at corresponding to you, looking at him pointing down. You can see there's like a little speaker box that you can push a button on.
I'm gonna push the button. I'm gonna try and push the button.
Okay. Someone says something in French at you.
Anglais?
Of course, of course. How can we help you?
Is this where the party is supposed to be?
Do you have an invitation?
I do.
I'll be right there.
Okay.
All right. So, the little thing buzzes, and then you see the guy like sort of leave the little gatehouse and starts walking towards you. And as he's walking towards you down the street, something seems a little bit off about him to you.
Mm-hmm.
So he appears to be getting bigger as he gets closer to you, which is like normal, but not in the scope that you'd expected. Like from that far away, he looked like he was maybe like 5 or 6 feet tall. As he gets closer to you, it becomes abundantly clear that he's closer to like 8 feet tall. This guy is huge. This is unnaturally large. Like, kind of reminds you of Goliaths based on what you were thinking about earlier. He would probably be okay with this bedroll.
I see him too.
What was that?
I see him also.
Yes, yeah, you can see him. Like, this guy is very real to the both of you. He is, in fact, wearing, like, it straight up looks like a night security uniform. Very modern. Wearing, like, the black pants, the blue shirt. There's no badge or anything on it, but he's very much playing the part. And when he gets to the front, he sort of holds out his hand to see your invitation.
I hold up the invitation, but I'm also just like, oh my god, you're tall.
Yeah, he has to kind of bend his knees a little bit to get it from you, just due to his height combined against yours, because he's literally twice as tall as you. All right, so he takes it. He takes one look at it. He nods. He hands it back to you, and then he turns to Anise.
She's with me.
Does she also have an invitation?
I mean, yeah, it was a +1 deal, right?
Well, like, you both have invitations.
Oh.
Because Anise has Kwaku's invitation, and you have the one that was given to you for working here.
Oh. I thought we had +1s, though.
You also have an extra one. You have several invitations at this point.
Oh, sure, I'll hold up the invitation from Kwaku.
Okay. Very good. And so then he sort of does like a little hand gesture in the air, and then the gate opens up for you.
Ooh. Alright, I guess we're gonna go in.
Is it going to be your +1?
Yeah, he's with me.
Very good. So, and I assume that the bird will be your +1, he says to Anise. Your bird's invisible, but he still says this.
Yes.
Very good.
The bird is my +1.
Okay, and with that, he walks you back. He goes as far as the gatehouse, and then he sort of signals up to the house at the top of the hill. And then he sort of settles back into his spot, and you can see, like, inside of his little guardhouse, he has a tiny TV, and goes back to watching French game shows.
I wonder if he knows the person in that locket. Ugh, you're right. You're right. Oh god.
And bring the locket.
It's also true.
We have brought the locket?
It's up to the two of you what you've brought. Whatever makes sense for you.
Ooh.
I probably tossed it in the bag of holding. Small, why not?
Ugh. But yeah, now that you've said that, I should. Oof. Let's just go to the house. Ugh. We're just gonna go up to the house.
Okay. So you continue on up, making your way toward the house, and I'll give you an idea of what the house looks like. Oh, after it converted, it looks more ominous than it's supposed to. It's not this scary looking. I'm just gonna tell you that. It looks way scarier with the colors messed up. It is not that scary, I promise.
That is ominous as shit.
Right? I think that's amazing.
We should probably turn around.
No, I like the look of the place.
You would like the look of the place.
No murder is happening here.
What?
Never, no. But yeah, so like you were coming up on a. It looks to be a 3-story house, as you can kind of see there. There's stairs at the front. It's kind of interesting. So as you get closer to it, you can feel yourselves stepping through a bounded field. Like, you know it's there. That's kind of your signifier that you're in the right place. And now you can both give me a perception check, and I'll tell you if you pick up anything neat. And then I'll spare Penelope like 15 more perception checks, because I know she's tired of looking at stuff.
Nope.
Okay. So Anise, you notice that the lawn is well maintained.
Oh, good.
It seems like they care about their greens here, which is nice.
Really? I'm just like veering off. You gotta like
No.
Penelope, you notice that the lights don't appear to be on. The lights don't seem to be on, and you don't hear any noise or anything coming from the house either. It seems like you're just walking up on an empty house, almost. But also, you notice, because you rolled pretty well on this one, and you're hyper focused now because you've had to pay attention for so much stuff, that there appears to be someone leaning against the wall behind one of the pillars. As you're getting closer, you can see a shadow sticking out from light sort of coming. Like, the indoor lights are off, but the outdoor does have some lighting, so you can see a shadow being cast. So someone is waiting at the front door. You can't see who, but they're leaning up against the pillars, so presumably they're trying to hide and failing.
Gonna tug on Anise. No, she's not wearing her coat. Never mind. I'm gonna like tap Anise on the arm. You see that up there?
Do I know that she's pointed it out? Or...
Yeah, it's pretty obvious once
Okay.
your
There's
attention's drawn to it.
But also, it doesn't look like anybody's home, or they're very good at conserving energy.
Maybe they're just waiting for the party.
Maybe.
Wait here early.
Yeah.
I mean, you are there early. It's true. Like, the party is supposed to be at midnight, and you're, just for context, Penelope's invitation lit up at 10. Anise's hasn't lit up yet.
Oh, that's right, because it was like, hey, I need to come in early to prep and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You asked for early access, and so yours went off early. Imagine if that had gone off closer to the event and you had to do all of your running through the city, figuring that stuff out closer to midnight.
Gross.
Now imagine that everyone else going to this event is about to have to do that.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna see if I'm... Oh, excuse me, that was a burp. I'm gonna see if I can maybe not sneak up on whoever's up on the front porch, but like I want to try and approach very quietly.
So are you stealthing, or are you just walking?
Walking very quietly.
Is your goal not to be noticed?
Yes.
Okay, then you can roll stealth.
I'm like,
I'll also roll stealth, noticing that she's being stealthy. Huh.
Okay, so Penelope is super stealthy. She like, I'm imagining when Penelope is stealthy, she's doing kind of that like Pink Panther walk, like doing long stretched out steps and sort of leaning into it like, you know, a trained bard walking around in slippers does. And so she's covering a decent amount of ground without making any noise. Anise is trying to mimic what Penelope's doing, but because she's taller, it's not really quite as effective. Because you're making longer stretched out steps too, but also you have to then wait for Penelope to catch up. And over the course of doing this a few times, you manage to shift one of the cobblestones a little bit and make a small amount of noise. Next to the noise of Paris, it's not much, but you can hear it, the two of you. The person sitting wherever the mystery spot is, does not react.
I'm gonna go up the stairs. Still being very quiet.
Yep. So as you get up the stairs, you can see a person sort of leaning back against it. Here's a picture of a person.
This guy looks like a dweeb.
Yep. So of note, this guy, he's got, dark hair. As you can tell from the picture, he's got dark hair. He's wearing a suit, although it does seem to be missing a coat. And he's sort of leaning back. His, contrary to the picture here where he's happily, smugly drinking, he looks a little more annoyed. He's leaning back. He's looking up, and he's just sort of spinning a pocket watch in his hand, just on the end of its chain. But otherwise, he just seems to be passing the time, like he's been standing out here for a while. He does not seem to notice that you're here.
Hello.
But, hello. He sort of leans up and he turns around like you startled him. And so he's going to... I assume neither of you are hiding. You were just quietly walking up, so you're both fully visible, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, he's going to turn around and he looks straight over Penelope's head to Anise. He hasn't looked down yet. And he just assumes that Anise was the one who was talking to him. Such is the power of steps and height differences.
Woohoo!
Also, you're stealthy as hell. So, even though you're talking to him, he hasn't quite noticed you're here yet. Good evening. Suppose you're here for the function?
Yes?
At this
Are
point,
you?
he sort of turns and he looks down, and then he notices you. Now that you've conversed with him, yes, I am. Both of you roll me an insight check.
Insight check. Oh.
Okay. Nothing really stands out about that other than this guy being surprised to Penelope. Anise picks up on the fact that for the briefest of moments there, he sort of stuck his nose up when he saw Penelope, and then he regained his composure. Like a snubbing look.
So, what are you doing early? Or, what are you doing here early?
He's continues talking in Anise's direction.
Oh.
Yes, I was invited here, but unfortunately, I'm afraid a halfling stole my invitation, so I'm hoping to speak with the host and get access through other means.
How did you find this house?
Truth be told, I was looking around for other people who might have also had access and followed them.
Who are you following? How did you get past the gate? The guard.
It's a simple matter with you're a master of magecraft. And I was following her, and he gestured towards Anise.
You were following me? How did you get here before us, then?
I didn't wait at the gate.
Well... I'm afraid we can't help you. Hopefully you can speak with someone. We're here on actual business and we have actual invitations.
Yes, kind of a celebrity, and she just like tosses her hair and kind of a VIP guest, so.
She's a big deal.
I'm sure she is. Still, if you could get the host attention, I would appreciate it. No one seems to be coming to the door.
Mm.
I'll
No.
think about it.
Tell me, it's a real shame that your invitation was stolen, you said?
By a halfling, yes.
Can you describe this halfling to me?
Like you, but a boy.
That's, you're gonna have to elaborate, because that's not very descriptive or helpful.
It was a bumpkin.
Also still not descriptive or helpful.
Okay, you can see him sort of pinching the bridge of his nose like he's annoyed he's even having this conversation. And then he leans down to you. And then he says, "It was a farm. I teleported and ended up there. And then he took my coat and my invitation. I thought he was offering hospitality, but he was actually just a thief. And I didn't realize that my invitation was gone with my coat until I got here."
Insight check!
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna incite him also. I know I already did.
No!
You're both getting the impression that this guy seems to believe what he's saying.
Mm. Mm.
The funny thing, we helped out a halfling that sounds quite a lot like what you're describing, who's being hunted by these awful people called harvesters. Ever heard of them?
The ones who hunt phantasmal species?
Yes. So,
Yes,
we
in
kicked their
Clock
ass.
Tower we're not fans of them.
Good. So we kicked their asses from here to Tuesday and saved the halfling, and such a funny thing, he gave us a coat and he was hoping to return it to someone that sounds a lot like you, but no invitation, just the coat. Do you want the coat back at least?
That's peculiar.
I'm just gonna pull it out of the bag of holding. He really wanted to return it to you. We walked all the way to Paris from his farm, which is quite far,
Yeah.
apparently.
Did you know that a cab ride from Paris to where he walked from is like, oh god, it's like 200 euros?
That I do. I had to get a cab here.
Yeah, it's wild how far he walked, huh?
That does sound like him, but
Why
why would a thief return a coat?
Just doesn't seem like a thing that a thief would do. Would come back to return a thing they stole, right?
Didn't seem like a thief to us, but
I mean, I've known some tricky people in my day, but
anyway, I suppose this is your coat. I'm gonna throw it at him, basically just toss it.
Okay, he's gonna catch it and he's going to feel around on the coat. You see him checking some hidden pockets that you didn't see before when you were looking at it, and he sort of nods to himself.
Definitely still have the invitation in the bag of holding.
Right. This is definitely my coat, but it does seem like he still has my invitation. That is a pity. I'm here on Clock Tower work, and this is problematic. Got to recover something that, well, the host stole from Clock Tower. So hopefully he'll cooperate. Would really hate to have to bring in policies.
I mean,
Policies?
that does seem to be the goal of the night, to return stolen things. That's why we're here, to claim stolen things as well.
Yeah, so feel free to roll I guess this would be history to know how Clock Tower works.
both of us, or
Whichever one of you wants to know to pick up on what
11.
he's saying. Like, this isn't going to be a high difficulty thing because it's present, but I'm trying to not make everything turn into an Arcana check. So, oh, that works for, yeah, both of you know. So Clock Towers has a whole bunch of different departments based, on everything from modern magecraft studies, the one that, Waver does, to the department of, one that studies artifacts, one that studies, astronomy, space, stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of them. But separate from all of the ones that are set up for studying things, there's the policies department. And policies is responsible for the more policing end of things, like internal affairs, like investigating why certain things happen, recovering things in this case that are stolen from Clock Tower. They do a lot of the actual policing of the mage world from a Mages Association standpoint. Whenever mages cross lines, which they don't have a lot of as mages. Generally speaking, mages get away with doing what they want. But if you cross a line, like, say, exposing magic or trying to plot to overthrow the leadership of Clock Tower, that's where policies gets pulled in. So what this guy's essentially saying is he's here because he's got to get something that was stolen from Clock Tower back, but also if he can't get in through an invitation, he might have to escalate this and actually call in, reinforcements, which would be unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can necessarily get you in the door, but like, what exactly was stolen from Clock Tower? Maybe we can keep an eye out for it.
That is classified. I can't just tell you that.
That's a shame.
So something just occurred to me while we were doing this part. You brought Jameson with you.
Yeah.
Did you leave Jameson at the gate? Or did he also show an invite to get in?
No, because he was the +1.
The +1, and the bird was my +1.
You're right. Never mind. Yeah. So he's just standing here just like, Right, yeah, of course. I know about all of these things, clearly, as a non-mage. Gotcha. That is correct.
He should be used to this kind of stuff.
Oh, he is. He's just... He has learned to be very quiet when the mages are talking. So, he is.
We didn't get a name of this guy from the...
Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for the mic drop.
Well, yes, I'm afraid we both have +1s for our invitations, so we can't get you in, but maybe Master Lupin or one of the other staff will pity on you or something. Anyway, don't we need to go get set up?
Yeah.
Concert?
Yes, it's about time we should go in, and so I'm gonna walk up to the front door. Can I open the front door?
So when you touch the front door, because you're trying to open it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you touch the front door, and when you do, the invitation that you still have out, presumably from when you walked in, turns from being a sheet of paper. It sort of floats up and it wraps itself around your wrist, kind of like when you go to like a convention or a festival or something. And when it wraps around your wrist, it shrinks down so it's not all big and bulky anymore, and turns into like a little bracelet. And then as you're touching the door and you open it up, you can see inside. And curiously, even though from the outside it looked like there was absolutely no light, no noise, anything, when you open it up to the inside, you can see inside. And inside you've got a long red carpeted hallway with big spiral stairs in the middle of a foyer area, you can see people bustling back and forth, getting things ready. You can hear a bunch of noise coming out now. all kinds of stuff that's completely invisible from the outside. But it absolutely opens for you.
Okay.
I see any of that?
You, from where you're standing, because you haven't touched the door, it looks like an empty house. The door opens, but it looks like it's an empty, dark house.
I signal to Anise to come to join me.
I do that.
Okay.
And to Jameson too.
When Anise crosses the threshold of the door as well, because you're going inside, the same thing happens with her invitation. It immediately wraps around her hand. Interestingly enough, when this happens for both of you, your invitation wraps around your hand, it glows a little bit, and then the glow kind of jumps off of you to your +1 and wraps around them as well. So there's a very, very tiny little bracelet around your bird's leg.
I was about to ask, is it like when they catch falcons or whatever, or
Yes.
wild
Yeah.
birds and put? Oh, that's so cute.
It's like the tiny little note band that they put paper in. It's like that, just around one of his tiny little legs. And obviously a more normal one around Jameson's wrist. But yeah, it becomes immediately clear and visible to you as you step inside. And as you step inside as well, looking back behind you, you don't see this guy standing outside anymore, or even the outside that was there before. It looks very different behind you now. So what you can see behind you has the same pillars in front of the building like you saw originally, but instead of it being the dark Paris area with, occasional street lamps and stuff like that, you see the environment as it looked outside, but much, much prettier. The trees are bigger, they're brighter. The sky is no longer light polluted out. You can see a whole cascade of stars across it. It kind of reminds Anise a little bit of when she was in the flashback thing and she saw like the perfect skies before light pollution and everything ruined them. It's very, very pretty outside, right behind you.
Is there a way to poke my head back out the door?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna poke my head back out the door and see if, going back through the door, I can see dude butt.
Okay, so yeah, as you poke your head back out, it's kind of like moving your face through the surface of water. Like, the light slightly washes over you as you poke your head out, and it goes back to being what you saw before, including that guy just staring at you. You can tell from the look on his face that whatever he's seeing is apparently just your head, because he is, nonplussed by this. Bah.
Yeah, so, do yourself a favor. And don't be such a dick to halflings, Richard. And then she just goes back through.
He doesn't get a chance to reply to you.
Good.
And it's just gonna stick a hand out and flip him off and then go back in.
All right. You successfully do that. You close the door?
Yes.
All right. The door is closed. So, hey, guess what? You're actually inside now, which means I get to show you stuff.
Hooray!
Mike.
Did you have fun doing that?
A little.
That's fair. All right.
But no.
Hey, the instant he started giving me Brian Rego vibes, I'm like, well, all right, nope. He's a dick.
The instant he was just like, no, I'm just gonna talk to the tall one. I'm like, and we're done.
Hey, mages are dicks.
Yup. Not all of them. Most
No.
of them.
It's a fair default assumption, though.
True.
All right. My masks are weird. Hold on. Oh, I see what I did. So for this floor, I forgot to put in the walls. So I'm going to do this one the way we did the old ones, and then by next week I'll build them in properly. But do 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 do. Let's just crudely draw some things for right now. All right. Hopefully that will share correctly. Bit. Loading, loading, loading.
It's a void.
All right, so you're starting to see what is hopefully going to be some wooden floor.
I see a void. Oh.
Yeah, it's a big map because it's an entire mansion. Unlike last time where we had the castle and I'm like, here's 6 different maps. I consolidated them into one and it's nowhere near as big, but the first time load's a bit rough and it apparently doesn't have my line of sight working right now, so we're just going to do this room by room. But I will add the lot of you to it so you can see a little bit more.
Oh, wow.
Big.
Yeah.
It big.
Jameson, where's your token? What are you up? Oh, it's because he's not on the combat tracker. That's why. Jameson is not made for the combat tracker. That is not where he wants to be. Let me go get Jameson. Hold on.
We must prepare Jameson for combat.
Oh, he doesn't want to do that.
By the end of this campaign, he'll be, I don't know, a level 20 warlock.
I was about to say, what is his class? Does he have a class?
He's manager class.
I mean,
What would that be? Oh god.
oh wow, Hemlock is still 30 feet up. That's funny.
Yeah.
He's still up there from when I set his height in that last fight.
And that's a pretty good assumption. If he's not on a shoulder, he's probably perched on a chandelier or something.
Yeah. So, cool. You're inside of a mansion now. So, yep, you find yourself in the main entrance area. The floor, actually, you can see more than that. I need to give you more point of view. You're not blind. There's lights in here. Man, I'm gonna have to redo all this stuff.
Completely blind.
They keep redoing Fantasy Grounds, and I keep forgetting that I have to set lighting for these things. All right, let me give you some more visibility. Let's just do some rectangles. Why not? Haha. Fine. Yep, so about from what you can see from here, you're in a very large and open-looking room. As you can just tell from the scale of your tokens, and keeping in mind that you're each in like a 5-foot space. Like, this is huge. The space is big, and like ahead of you, you can see a spiral staircase in the middle. It's hard to tell from the map, but one of them is going up to a higher up floor and the other one's going down to a lower floor. It's not completely mirrored. Looking up, you can see a bit of an observation area to look down at you from. There's some railing. You would have to get closer to look down to see what the below floor is. To your left and to your right are some double doors. At the moment, I'll give you a little bit more insight into that. You can see some hallways up ahead to the left and right as well. So there's a bit of a path, both of those directions. And then straight ahead past the stairs, there's a big red carpeted area that seems to be pretty open and clear right now. You see people bustling back and forth. Like, no one's really stopped to pay any attention to you at the moment. you can see a few people. It's kind of weird. You see a lot of people running around, but now that you're inside and you're in better lighting and you can take a better look at it, you notice that these people are partially transparent.
Ghosts.
They kind of look like ghosts. They look kind of like ghosts or spirits.
Places on.
Could be. Both of you can roll an Arcana to try to figure out what's going on. Nice.
Hey.
Okay. You're both familiar with this spell, thankfully. It's a pretty high up there spell, in fact. It's called Magnificent Mansion. And the idea behind this spell is that you've created a small pocket space, roughly the size of a, well-to-do mansion. And inside of that pocket space, you're able to, put pretty much whatever you want. Like, you can have servants who aren't real people. They're just created. They're like interactive illusions. They're floating around. They're doing work. They're maintaining things. They're doing whatever they have to do. Also, inside of spaces like that, you're kind of cut off from outside a bit. Like, people, for the purposes of magecraft, like scrying, you're not in this plane anymore. You're hiding in what in the Type Moon world is referred to as a texture. You're on a slightly lower level, or upper level depending, than the entire rest of the world, which means that anything that's trying to look for you through scrying magic won't find you. Anyone trying to teleport can't teleport here. You're just pocketed away very so slightly. It also means that in this area, the person who manifests the whole place got to set the rules for everything in terms of like what exists, what's where. Anything that's created in here as part of the spell can't be taken out of it. But anything that is brought in can be taken out, and anything that is left in here when the spell ends will just fall on the ground, similar to when you dump that bag inside out. So there's a lot going on there, but the most important thing for you to think about is that that's a pretty high level spell. It's kind of at the limit of what mages can really do, short of reaching like the actual like true magics. Most mages today can't do something of this nature. Even some of the higher ups in Clock Tower would have a hard time with it. So this is pretty impressive.
Holy cow.
This also explains why it looks very different outside, because as far as the outside world is concerned, an identical looking mansion is sitting there physically. It's just empty with nothing on. And the entrance to this one apparently is that door you just walked through overlapping with the real door. Which is also why Richard, sitting outside, is confused all to hell. He's literally in the wrong universe to break this party.
Part of me wants to poke my head back out the door and just be like, and flip him off again, but
I think we've made up a point.
But yeah, you see people running around. Some of them are running around carrying like food trays. Some of them are running around. They're not really cleaning so much as they're straightening things. Like anything that got bumped as things were moving around, they're adjusting. There are some stanchions set up to prevent people from going up or down the central stairs right now, and there are some of these translucent people standing by at that. Largely like preventing access to whatever ability they could. And you can hear noise. You can hear lots of noise. You can hear tables being slid around. You can hear people shouting from nearby as food is being prepared. You can actually, Penelope recognizes this. You can hear people testing the levels of sound equipment in another room with the requisite amounts of feedback from someone stupidly letting a microphone get too close to a speaker.
What direction is that coming from?
If we're treating the map that you have here like it's cardinal directions just for simplicity, that is coming from the northeast.
Right. I want to head in that direction.
Okay. Do you have access to walk around? Let me check. Oh, it's doing that. Hold on. Let me turn that off.
Oh, I wanted to zoom around the room.
You did.
Oh, did I?
Looked like it from my perspective.
It didn't show me that at all. It just threw me on top of it. Like, hello, I'm here. What's up?
Wonders of D&D.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start walking in that direction.
Okay.
Doo-doo.
All right. I'm going to reveal sections as you walk by them, since when we play next time, I'll have line of sight set up again so that it does this automatically. But for now, we're doing it old school.
Woohoo!
So, yeah. Assume Jameson's going with you. I'll move him when we get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can see just looking down that hall to the right. And because you could see it from there also, there's, like I said, a hall that goes off to the left as well. So you can kind of see those fill out. The one to the right, there are some small doors. Not on the bottom one, but on the top. In fact, the most immediate door that you can see on the left there is a ladies' room sign. Apparently, Lupin has decided that you deserve a bathroom. How generous. There's a double door at the end of this hallway, and there's a second double door to the left just before you get to the end of that hallway. So cool. In the opposite direction, you can see a similar door just past the divide that has a little sign sticking out from the top of it that signifies it's the men's room. Bathrooms front and center. Good job, buddy. And then the door, other than that, the hallway goes to the end and then sort of cuts off to the right. There's no doors there. It seems to just be a hallway that isn't a straight line.
Cool.
Yeah.
Continuing on.
Okay. As soon as you get to the red carpety part, the room to your right opens up. It's big.
Ooh.
It's got chairs along the edge. It's red carpet. There's a wooden dance floor. And you're seeing what appears to be a stage off in the corner, pointing out towards this room.
Ooh.
And it's sort of hard to tell from the map, but there are some big speakers in the front, left, and right of this stage, pointing outward. But also you can see more subtle speakers spread throughout the room to sort of create a more surround effect. You can see some people, like ghosty people, acting as techs on this stuff. They seem to be messing with things and testing it out. It's kind of weird because you've never seen ghost roadies before, but that's kind of what they look like.
Trying to think of a good way to combine the words ghost and roadie, and none of them sounded good.
Yeah.
Ghosty.
The spectral roadies are hard at work.
Roast.
But yeah, they're messing around with some of that stuff. You haven't seen any real people yet. You've just seen these ghosty people.
Alright. I'm gonna start walking towards where the stage is.
Okay. As you get further over in this room, you can see from the stage, they've actually got a little bit of a roped off pathway just on the right in front of this big old window. Like I don't know how easy it is to see the blue, but there are big bay windows here. And there's windows all over the place now that you think about it. Like they're letting in the starlight pretty nicely, even though it's a thing that you can't do in real life because, again, light pollution. But you can see the stars pretty cleanly, even though you've got light on this side as well. Like it doesn't seem to be reflecting off of the windows. So magic is fun. But yeah, the area alongside those windows on the east side up till the stage is roped off a little bit, and it seems to be roped off sort of like a stanchion set up towards the room to the bottom, because there are several paths downward. There's some stairs over here that go up on this side. So you have stairs going up. You've got like a little door right here. You've got more of an open path there that you can just see through. There are doors, but those ones are held open. But the path on the far right is sort of roped off to... You've seen this before. It's generally signified that there's a clear path between that door and the stage that no one can get in the way of. There's no chairs. There's no sitting in this area.
So it's like this spot right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna find one of the ghost roadie people.
Yeah.
And see if I can get their attention.
Okay. Yeah, as you're walking up, you see a few of them are messing with the speakers. It's weird because like they're ghosts, but they still seem to have those little lapel mic things with earbuds on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're sort of calling to each other back and forth, walkie-talkie style, convention stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing that anyway. And then the one who's closest to you, working on the bottom right speaker, sort of turns and looks to you.
Oh.
Awaiting instruction.
Excuse me, I don't actually know who my point of contact is supposed to be other than Mr. Lupin. I'm supposed to be performing tonight at this party.
Okay.
Can you help me?
So, one thing that you remember from, since you rolled, pretty well on that check before, these things can't talk.
Oh, shit.
They can take orders, but they can't really speak. But when you say these things, the ghost does sort of hold up, like, one hand with like one finger, and then it points towards the more open bottom area, like the bigger double doors.
Mm-hmm.
That way. So you are being directed.
Thank you. Boop, boop, boop. We're going this.
Okay. I appreciate Hemlock following. Okay, so as you double down here and you can see inside a little better, what you found is the food and a person. So I didn't bother to put the little ghost in, but there are some ghost people behind this table. It's a display table with a lot of food under it and on it as well. It kind of reminds you a little bit of going to cafeterias or cafes where like they have the big display case with a lot of food under it, and then they pull it out and hand it to you. There's no cash register or anything. They seem to just be retrieving stuff as necessary. And there's a guy standing here, and this guy, let me give you a better picture of him because that token is funny looking. Images. Where did your image go? Did you end up in this folder? Yeah, here we go. Cool. All right, so yeah, so the guy that you find in there, you walk in and you see a dude who's wearing a bit of a dark blue suit with, well, here he is.
Look at him.
Look at him, yeah.
Exactly.
So you see a dude, he's wearing a formally looking suit. It's dark blue. He's got more of a burgundy tie. He's wearing a top hat. He's wearing glasses that have a little chain on them. He's got a golden cane in his hand. Like, he's human. Like, it's, blatantly human. He's smiling a bit as he's sampling some of the food. He seems to be having fun with it. You can see that he's got, like, a pocket watch. In general, he looks kind of out of place, but in the grand scheme of your experiences with mages, not that out of place. But he seems pretty happy, and when he sees you walk in, he very quickly finishes eating the deviled egg that you caught him mid chomping on. Well, hello and welcome, Penelope. It's nice to meet you in the flesh. How are you today?
Good. Slightly annoyed with somebody who's trying to break into the party.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So early to have uninvited guests.
Right?
Kind of surprised they found the place at all. The whole point of the fiasco for getting here is to cut down on those. Did he follow you here?
Yeah.
Ah, so rude. Wonder who
Very
it
rude.
is.
I know exactly who it is.
Oh, really? I'm curious. I don't know who all is invited.
He's a guy from the clock tower.
Oh, they're real sticks. Got it.
Yeah, his name is Richard. He's just an asshole.
Well, that's unfortunate for him that he's outside.
Yeah. He keeps threatening to send policies over.
That would be very funny if he tried.
Yeah, I'd really like it if he did not come to this party tonight.
Well, the rules are clear. You have to have an invitation to get in.
Can we, ban him?
Well, if he doesn't get an invitation, he can't come in. If he gets an invitation, then that's different.
I'm gonna, throw him in a ditch. Nope. Yeah, this is a nice place.
Well, thank you. It's a bit of a caster upper, but it's it'll serve its purposes for the night, and then tomorrow it will be gone. So if Policies wants to visit, they are welcome to come in Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Well, I'll be gone. You'll be gone. No one will be here. They'll look rather silly. The man will claim that there was a giant party in a big empty building, and they'll have to believe him or not.
That's true.
I'd wager he's probably here for something that I or one of my predecessors have taken off of Clock Tower. We've taken a fair bit over the years. They're so proud of their security to be so bad at it.
Yeah, he wouldn't tell me what was taken.
Classified.
Apparently.
Of course it was. They're very embarrassed. Actually, a big part of the fun of this evening will specifically be seeing what all I have on display.
Speaking of which, where can we see that?
Oh, it's all over this floor, so I'll be going over this more formally when the others arrive, but the idea is that this floor is the showcase floor. You can see everything that someone will be able to walk away with on this floor. And then some of the ways to walk away with things will be below. There will be games, there will be fun, there will be challenges. Of course, no one's going to walk away with nothing. Just by being here and having an invitation, you're getting something. It'll just be a question of what else there is available and what you choose to keep.
Fair enough.
Now, I believe I owe you early access to something, do I not?
Yes.
Excellent. Would you like to peruse that now, or would you rather check to the stage and your musical needs as required?
Actually, Anise, do you mind going to check out the...
Do you have the invitation from the person it was stolen from?
Yeah.
That's...
And then I can go check the stage and then meet up with you?
Splitting the party sounds like a great idea.
Oh god. When you put it that way, it's a terrible idea. Wait,
It's just us and Mr. Lupin and Ghost. Should be fine.
Although I could just have Jameson check over the stage. He knows how to do that. I assume he followed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drag him over now. Jameson, with his amazing powers of teleportation.
Huh?
This is why we pay him the big bucks.
Oh, yes, I could absolutely. I will communicate with your ghosts and find out how this works. I believe you already have our specifications, do you not? Oh, I do, but whatever you need. All right, Jameson's gonna go try to communicate with ghosts.
You know, a typical part of the job.
He's become used to a lot of things since meeting you.
I think maybe he deserves another raid.
He might, yeah.
We get him involved in any kind of combat. He definitely deserves a raid. Not that I think there will be combat.
Oh, there shouldn't be any combat. Because you're early, you're missing the spiel, but essentially, there will be no combat tonight. It's a rule. It's a rule of hospitality. It's one of the rules I've placed on my mansion. I'll explain it in greater detail, but the short version is that if you're familiar with the spell pacifism, which some of the divine types use, it pretty much makes it hard for someone to be affected or hit or harmed in some way, so long as they are also not harming others. And I've worked with the church to set up a bit of an effect on my mansion to enforce that. So anyone within these walls should be safe. And anyone who chooses to break hospitality is going to be surrendering themselves to everyone else present, which I would not recommend.
That works.
I'm a thief, but I'm also a gentleman.
Effective.
But yes, in that case, let me show you. I believe you were looking for a specific item. It was the kimonos, was it not?
Right.
Very well then. Grab a snack if you wish, and follow me.
What kind of food is there?
What would you like?
Oh, that was out of character, me asking.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's a wide variety of food that's already visible and available. You've got right now it's a ton of finger food. Everything from, like I said, there's deviled eggs. There's like the more modern comforts of like tiny little hot dogs, cheeses, crackers, all those things. But also there are lots of little plates that have really sweet things like, you know, baked goods. You've got some more savory things like lots of meats, lots of breads, like carbs and fats of all varieties. It's kind of weird because the longer you look at it, the more it becomes clear that there's more food here than fits. Like every time you think of a thing that probably should be in a party, it seems like it just sort of appears.
How long has it been since I had that General Tso's?
At this point, about 3 hours and a run across Paris.
I'll just pick up a plate with generic veggies on it.
Sure.
No.
Is there any like fruit or tea?
Yeah, they're like really and truly. This is kind of one of those weird Peter Pan and Hook things where as you're imagining food, like they're preparing and providing it. It's like a room of requirement, but for a refrigerator.
Penelope is gonna get like a cup of tea with some honey in it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of fruit.
And she easily acquires it. You get a cup of tea with a little saucer, very regal. You can see like a very tiny silhouette of Lupin on the side of it. On the side of the cup, and the tea is there. Hot water, tea bag, everything. There's honey to apply to it. Yeah, pretty much all the snacks, super available. And as you pick them up and turn around, that spot has already been filled in again.
Huh. Neat.
All right, this way.
Moving. Hold up.
Meow.
Ah.
drag my token, but I dragged the map.
Ah. All right. So
Good, hemlock.
He's still in the kitchen.
that's probably where he's gonna stay, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I'll just
Oh,
leave
no.
him there for the time being. Timmy can communicate with the ghosts, and they'll manifest whatever food he wants.
This is a dangerous game.
He's
Okay.
gonna be a orb.
A borb.
It's just gonna turn
We're
into
gonna
fat
have to go.
chocobo.
We're gonna have to put him on a little
bird
tread.
Okay. So as Lupin walks up to this room right here with the double doors, he sort of does a little bit of a flourish with his hand, and then the doors just flip open on their own, and they lead you to a room that has a few display cases in it. And there's a bunch of neat little things in those cases. This is kind of like when you go into a game store or a card shop or something, and you just see a whole bunch of stuff laid up in cases. You don't see any way to open the cases. It seems to be more sealed in, but you can see neat artifacts, and then he continues through to the next room. And
jumping on the case.
While I'm in here, can I do like a perception check to see if anything especially catches my eye?
Sure. What kind of things are you looking for?
Magical thing. And or old thing.
All right.
Kind of the same thing, depending. Nope, I found nothing.
Well, the thing is, almost everything in these cases looks important. Whether or not it is important is hard to just ascertain as you're walking by it, but you get the impression just from the way that's set up that everything in there has some kind of story to it.
I want to see if there's any, like, instruments or anything like that floating around in the case.
Oh! All right. Let me check the list for this room. Just so you know, I have an Excel file because I have all these pens on the map, and it's easier to check the file. All right, we're in the which color coding did I put on this room? There we go. Okay, so skimming over them right now, since you hit that's a nat 22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of there's a lot of stuff in here. This is not an exhaustive list, but here's the stuff that jumps to your attention. You can see there's like a necklace with a shiny rock on it. There's a shiny copper coin that actually looks a little big next to that. There's a flask. It kind of looks like an alcohol flask. It's silver. It's kind of silly looking, in fact. There's like a little mustache on it. There's a ring on like a tiny little display hand. It's a bit of a goofy domino mask in there. And finally, the thing that your nat 20 drew your eyes to immediately is there appears to be a fiddle in one of these. And it's not just a fiddle. It's a golden fiddle.
Oh no, is this some devil went down to Georgia shit?
Who knows?
Can I get a closer look at the gold fiddle?
If you want to. Like, I mean, he's opening the next door, but you are welcome to pause and stare at the fiddle.
I'm gonna.
Okay. It looks like it's really made out of gold. As you're sort of leaning towards it through the case, you kind of want it. Like, you feel yourself wanting it.
Anise, I want that.
Anise will look at it too.
Anise, you kind of want that.
I don't want it too. It's weird, because I don't...
Like, the sound quality would be absolute shit if it is made of gold.
It does appear to be.
But that's cool as hell, and I want it.
Oh, that? Yes, That's actually quite an instrument. The the bard who played it before was very, very good, so I believe the sound quality is pretty solid. I'm not as much of a musician myself, but it seems to play very nice music. That is one of the ones that I acquired, by the way.
Oh, who'd you steal it from?
I acquired it through a fair wager. I've, given the way invitations work and how recently I acquired it, I'm willing to bet that you'll meet the person I took it from in a few hours.
Okay, but who is it?
It's an American chap. Very
Doesn't-
southern.
Oh no. What? Oh no. Well, cool. I hope I get to meet them because I'm just very intrigued by this thing.
Oh, actually, while we're in here, he sort of stops. Like, the doors to the next room are open and you can kind of see into it, but rather than going in there, he turns around and he walks over to the case and he points at that coin that you saw in the first place. Funny story. So I got this today.
Today?
Yeah, it's the mystery behind that cafe that we were in earlier. Well, that you were in and that I spoke to you at.
Yeah.
I don't really understand how this works, but apparently some mage was attempting to use it as a focus for some spell. And they messed up. Something went wrong. I think they were trying to persuade or suggest people to do something, and this entire fiasco was a mistake. Either that or they were too effective. My associate that you met before, Marie, found a mage a few blocks away, apparently arguing with a tree.
With a tree.
He was doing whatever he was doing the last time when he tried to cast a spell. It seems like he was trying to haggle with a tree to reduce the price of some items. My suspicion is that he was trying to haggle with the people upstairs in the magic item shop and didn't realize what would happen if he tried to use a spell within their bounded field.
Mm.
And it just had a much larger radius than he expected. So we took this coin off of him as he couldn't be trusted with it. It seems the coin is what made it so effective. I've not really studied it yet, but it is something that I took, and my goal today is to return what I've taken, so... That fellow doesn't have an invitation, so I guess he's not getting that back, but someone will.
Yeah.
Hopefully more responsible hands will get this before the end of the day. It seems very chaotic from what I could tell. It seems to do whatever it feels like regardless of what was intended. Should be fun. But yes, that's the little mystery. Here's what you were looking for. And he walks into this room, and this room has a bunch of displays, like a bunch of think of it kind of like an art room at a con. Big vertical flat surfaces, made out of wood, and things are hanging on them. And now that you've stepped in here, what you can see are the first batch, the one that Anise is closest to right now. It has some kind of big... So I'm just going to kind of read off it because it's really clear. So the bottommost one, the one facing south on the bottom of the three, has two big mirrors on it on the south side. And then on the north side of it, it's got what appears to be a leather map on the far left of it. It's got some kind of envelope sealed away in the middle. And then on the right, it has a scroll, like a wrapped up scroll. And these things are all immediately on it, and there's just like similar to the glass in the previous room, there's sort of a casing in front of it, so you can't actually touch anything. Keeping in mind that these squares are all 5 feet wide, those lines that are on the map now are really just approximations. Like each one has about 2 feet stretching out forward and back with a glass case around it, with things inside. So those are there, but the rest of them like the other two horizontal cases in here, are
Mhm.
walls that are covered in kimono.
Oh, gee.
There are several kimono. You would wager there is at least between, like, each one of them seems to have about 5 or 6 kimono on it. Because keeping in mind, each of these squares being 5 feet means this is 20 feet of wall.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch. They're up there. They're big. It's not that they're flat against it so much as they're sort of in mannequins in display.
Mm.
They're all pretty close together, but they're all a wide variety of styles, and they're all very pretty. They're different styles, different approaches, and when he sort of gestures you towards all of these things, Lupin then points you towards one mannequin that is not wrapped away in one of those cases. It's off to the top right. So for where Lupin's token is, it's to the right of where it is right now on that wall. Okay?
Okay.
So right there, what we have is this mannequin wearing a kimono.
Is it terrifying mannequin?
Yep. And so Lupin's going to sort of turn to you now in front of that. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to give you first crack at this, but I can't let you do it until the party officially starts. So really, I'm giving you a chance to plan ahead. There are games throughout my mansion, and when you win the game, you get the prize associated with that game. And once we reach the beginning of the games tonight, this right here, the woman in the raven kimono, or crow, it's blackbirds. I'm not the best at it. Unfortunately, it's not one of my skills. She will tell you that all of these kimonos, save one, are beautiful facsimiles. Everything in here was taken from a museum. Most of them were fakes. They're not as authentic. Their originals are actually stowed away in private collections, presumably by much wealthier people than the public institutions that store these. But one of these is real. Presumably, this is the one that belongs to your friend. If you can tell her which one is the real one, and provide her the reason why, so you're not just guessing, but you can explain to her how you know, to her satisfaction, she will give you that kimono. Now, you can't touch them, obviously. You're going to have to go on appearances and figure out the rest of it yourself. But if it belongs to your friend, then you should know enough to identify it, and that's a way of kind of making sure it goes back to the right place, even if he couldn't be here. So I'm going to give you some time to look at these before anyone else gets here. And if you can figure it out with that advantage, then as soon as the game begins, you can tell her your answer.
Okay. That seems fair.
Very good, then. In that case, I'm going to get back to making preparations. As I'm sure you recall, I'm going to have some of the nice people from the church dropping by to provide an extra layer of security just in case. And I need to give them the talk about being polite to everyone as well. I will not have disrespect towards my guests, and they are known for disrespect. And if I'm going to have them here, along with likely Clock Tower and who knows what else, they'll need to understand the ground rules.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Very good then. Oh, actually, because you are here as my special guest, because you'll be performing, he's going to hand you a key. It's like a tiny little key.
Okay.
This will let you in one of the rooms just up here. These are private rooms. You can go there when you need a break.
Okay.
I would not recommend spending the entire evening there. That wouldn't make for a very good party, but if you need a moment's peace, I understand the value of privacy. That will let you in one of these rooms once. So if you need a rest, go for it. We don't, as much as I enjoy the idea of giving everyone their own private rooms, I still want this to be a party, so I'm not going to hand these out willy-nilly. But everyone working for me is getting at least one break of the evening. And
Okay.
likewise, when it comes time to perform, you should have everything you need. But if you need anything else, feel free to reach out to, once again, any of the ghosts working. They all know how to reach me, and I will help out.
Okay. And if I do use the key to get into one of the rooms, it's not just me that can go in there, right? I can bring Anise and my manager with me, right?
Absolutely, yes. It's meant more for privacy. I understand that mages are not big on discussing their plans in public, and since some of the games and festivities will involve some coordination, it's good to have somewhere to plan.
True. Okay.
Very good then. And with that, he bows politely, and he steps out.
I expected him to like Kool-Aid Man through the wall.
And he's vanished.
But yeah, here you are in a room with a bunch of kimonos and no distractions yet.
Hey, let's look through these kimono and see if we can find the one that belongs to Guapo.
I'm gonna assume that we remember what was described to us by Kwaku. Or have it written down somewhere.
He told you that it was a beautiful kimono that was made by his Joroguma ancestors for his mother as a wedding kimono. He did not give you a description of what exactly it looks like, because he's never seen it.
Gotcha.
Oh no. Well, okay, so... And we can't touch them.
You can't touch them, but you can look at them. I have a lot of kimono to show you, but rather than spamming you with all of them, if you can tell me some criteria for what you're looking for, I will use that to prioritize what stands out to you. So, like, what would you look for imagery-wise that you think would fit?
Spiders!
Okay. So spiders, anything else you want to look for aside from spiders? Because I'm just going to tell you now, none of them looks like a Spider-Man costume.
Damn it!
Him would be looking at the stitching.
Okay.
I don't know if Anne would.
Well, it's a wedding kimono. So, something... I don't want to say multi-layered, but like, you know how like wedding kimono will have like the extra bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like layered. So maybe something layered looking?
Okay.
I'd be seeing if I can tell just by looking if they're made out of silk or something else.
All right. Yeah, in that case, each of you can roll an investigation, and I will show you the ones that stand out as the most likely contenders.
I'm gonna cast guidance on you.
Ooh, and I
Give
will...
you...
And I will... I'm gonna give you part...
Roll an extra d4 and add the number roll to one ability check of choice.
Okay, cool. Then
It's kind of like you inspired her.
Whoa. Well, guess what? I'm gonna inspire you.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah. We're inspiring each other.
Yeah.
So it's, right?
It's a D6.
It's a d6? Okay.
Yeah.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a natural 20.
That's a good start.
Oh no.
Don't forget your inspiration.
Yeah, D4, right? Not a D.
I'm gonna save mine. I feel like I don't need it with the natural 20.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. Cool. So I'm going to start showing some of these based on those. So, like, for starters, just since Anise was looking for materials that they're made out of, as someone who's had to make her own clothes before, such as Druid life, you can recognize some of the telltale signs of someone using costume fabric. And
Ugh.
the kinds of things that, you're not finding costume fabric, because obviously these things pass muster in a museum. But you're still seeing some subtle things that disqualify the vast majority of the stuff up here. And you've whittled it down to just a few items per wall just by doing that, like going off materials. Some things that are very clearly like no longer, like they don't make as much sense within the aesthetics of what's going on. So let's see. I'm gonna show a few. So I'm going to show you the first one that you disqualified, just to give an idea of what you've picked out as being wrong. So here's one.
That's all right.
It's pretty. It's got a jellyfish motif, but you can tell from the big belt part that would not have been made in the 1900s. Like, the way jellyfish look under lighting like that would not have been a thing that they would have really cared for. But it is pretty. Some things that feel a bit more wedding-y. Here's one. And lots of pinks.
So literally it's just this white wedding kimono at the top.
I mean, yeah, it kind of does.
Oh, that's funny that it actually kept that in. Yeah. I'm going to tell you in the meta, it's not this one. It's just funny that it was labeled though. I don't want to mislead you based on it not using the right label.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just kimono. I'm glad we got to that one before we got to the real one though, or that would have really just undercut the whole thing. But no, it's not that one. You weeded that one out pretty quickly because it looks too modern in the design for what you would expect for that.
Okay, so these three are ones that aren't it for sure?
Or
that she determined weren't it?
Yeah, these are the ones that she determined weren't it due to the materials that they're made of. So none of the ones that you've seen so far are it. You've narrowed it down to... Oh, wait, there's one more that you determined wasn't it. You determined it was not this one.
Yeah, definitely not.
Which also doesn't look like a wedding kimono. So, hey, cool. Neat. So, the possible actual contenders, based on materials, even if it's not necessarily the style you were expecting, are... possibly this one? Possibly this one? Possibly that one. Possibly that one. And oh, I couldn't click on that one because Penelope's standing on the pen.
What? What am I doing?
So there are pins on the map that you can't see, and that's what I assigned each of these to. Or possibly that one. So those are the 5 you narrowed it down to on materials.
They're all very pretty.
Blue one. Look at the... Zoom in on it. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
So for which one?
The light blue one.
Okay, the light blue one with the 3-strand hairpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I like do a more deep investigation on that one specifically?
Yeah. What are you trying to determine about it?
I'm trying to determine if that one is. It was made a long time ago, so I guess I'm trying to determine the age of it relative to the others. Yes.
Okay.
Is that still investigation?
Yeah, it'll still be investigation if you're trying to figure things like that out. Okay, so you're taking a look at it. You cast a light spell, or I guess for you it would be you don't actually have light, do you? You have fire.
I think I did I? Yes, I did.
Yeah. So you prep a little bit of light with your cantrip. And with that, you sort of check how it reflects off of each of them, looking for, signs of like aging, dust, fading, whatever. And when you do that, you notice that they all seem to be pretty old. But the one that you're talking about there, the light blue one, has a slightly different shimmer to it. And it's a shimmer that you have seen before because it reminds you a little bit of the shimmer that Kwaku's clothes give off when you use light effects around him to help Penelope see.
Fairly confident it's this one, not just because of the spiderweb.
They're very consistent.
It has a kind of shimmer to it that the others don't, that Kwaku's clothing gives off.
Oh.
Whenever I use this particular cantrip. The others may be made of silk, but I'm willing to wager this one is made of spider.
Yeah. I'd believe it. Well then yeah, whenever the thing starts asking for which one we think it is,
This one.
it's gotta be that one.
Okay, so you have your guess.
Alright.
Thanks, Picrew.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Did we make your job harder or easier when we introduced you to Picrew?
Okay, I have to have a tangent story here. So I was trying to use Picrew to make one of the NPCs, and in the process of doing this, I discovered the weirdest Picrew that I've ever seen.
Go on.
So the style itself was very kind of like subdued and feminine in terms of like, like all of the colors were kind of light, more pastel-y. The features were very small, like minimized, like small nose, smaller eyes, whatever, right?
Yeah.
The lips were huge. Giant lips, okay? The thing is, though, this was a male Picrew. So no matter what you picked for this person's outfit, they had these big, like, Botox lips. But the reason it's funny isn't just that. It's because the clothing available all looked like you were doing a tour through, like, a Kid Rock video.
Oh, jeez.
So all of the clothes were, like, really tacky, denim or tasseled or dreadlocks hair. All of it looked like that. Like it was a 1994 13-year-old Florida boy's idea of what looks cool. And all of that combined with the giant lips and the really feminine features for the eyes and the noses and the blush that's just built into the skin made the weirdest like most cursed imagery no matter what I put into it.
I'll bet.
So I saved some of them, and I will share them with you later.
Oh no!
Oh no.
But it was just the weirdest and most distracted. Like, I wasted like an hour because
I bet.
I was just trying to figure out, like, who is this for? Who is the target audience for this? I don't understand.
Oh my god.
Like, if it were consistent in one direction or the other, I would understand it completely. It wouldn't be my thing, but I would get it. But this weird thing where, like, they picked the most, like, Eminem walking 8 Mile in Alabama stuff with the most cafe fake bakery stuff is just so strange. It's just intrinsically strange. But no, Picrew is really helpful for things like this, where it's like I need a wide variety of looks, but I don't want to bias it by finding pictures of real kimono because some of these pictures are going to be better than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to skew it that way because if I just throw a bunch of really crappy ones up, then they're obviously not it.
Yeah.
So the ability to go through Picrew, and I intentionally designed like 5 or 6 of them that could have worked. Thankfully, you rolled high enough that you didn't get the red herrings.
Huh.
So that was the thing that determined the pool that you were picking from. So,
Oof.
but it's also just pretty. Like, obviously, Kimono Builder is really cute, and there's a bunch of stuff, and it was way more elaborate than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But yeah, so you've got your pick on that. At this point, you've got sort of your lead in. Whatever you say, Robot Alert. I'm just going to go ahead and reveal a thing on the map to you. We're not going to run over to it now, but just so that you'll know you have it for later. Because we're pretty much at a good stopping point for the session now. I don't want to start a new thing when we're going to try to wrap in 20 minutes anyway. But I'm going to reveal this thing for you now. So over there, back near the stage, there was a room to the right that you saw that was kind of stanchioned off. That's your backstage area. It's got a bunch of equipment. It's got lockers. It's got a place that you can kind of duck away to for anything you want to stow that you're going to use in the show that you don't want to lug around.
Right.
Your Lupin key will also let you get in there as many times as necessary. That's not a public room, just for performers. I forgot to say that earlier, but it's something Lupin would have explained when he met you. So now you know that. So you have the option of going in there whenever you want to break to, but you, in addition to that, have access to a smaller, more private room should you want it.
Okay.
You're going to be here for a bit.
Yeah.
I think strategy is to wait until my invitation activates, and then I'll go be standing by in the kimono room, ready to be like, it's this one.
Yeah, that sounds like a
And then
plan.
I'll put it right in the bag of holding
Yeah.
and come right.
Yeah. I wonder how you get some of this other stuff.
Games, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, but like, I wonder what kind of games there are.
Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
Wink!
Wink, wink, wink. Eyebrow waggle.
Okay, but also, unrelated to playing the games, if it is that kimono, how precious would Kwaku look in that kimono?
I'm going to not think about that.
Dang! It is rude. Alright, well, I'm gonna go put my instruments stuff down. I only brought like a couple of things, but I'm gonna go put that down now. And I'm gonna
Go with you.
yeah. Meow.
Zoom.
I just zoom across through all the walls. Oh, dang. Okay.
Are you just clipping through walls?
Yeah. I
Meow.
was just like, I don't feel like going all the way around. Assume I walked to the
This is not the Kool-Aid man today.
Alright, I put my viola down. Oh no.
Okay, so when you go in there, like, you're putting your stuff down, you also see that you're not the only one who's left things in here.
Oh no.
There's, in fact, there's a fiddle sitting nearby.
Oh no. Oh no. Whose fiddle is this?
You haven't seen anyone else yet.
I see a door there. Is it unlocked?
It is not unlocked.
Damn it. Can my key open it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's your key to the room. Are you snooping?
Open.
Okay. Right. You have found the place where people will be eating when they grab their food from the plates.
That was less exciting than I thought it would be.
And an open area down there,
Hey.
which has a bunch of windows that look outside.
Sweet. Yeah. I didn't see anybody else.
I mean, you technically saw more of the ghosty people running around setting things up, but yeah. You found some of them doing table setting.
Ah. What's this little thing between the two rooms?
That is stairs.
Oh.
The one on the top goes up and has a little stanchion in the way. The one on the bottom from the room you just snuck into goes down and has a stanchion in the way.
Dang.
Fun did mention there'd be games downstairs.
Yeah. Wonder what's upstairs.
That's when Penelope started trespassing.
I forget. Fuck your stanchions. I can slip under them. Ah!
They'll never stop me. I'm short. You're 4 feet tall. Stanchions absolutely stop you.
Stop you more than normal people.
No.
They're designed for stopping children.
No.
But yeah, Jameson seems to be coordinating pretty well with the ghosts. They're just doing whatever he tells them to. You notice one of the roadies has brought him a snack.
Yeah.
He's eating tiny hot dogs that are on toothpicks. They seem to have everything going here. Did you have any special lighting needs?
I mean, that one girl's bringing the flying lighting or light up Roombas, and then I've got a cantrip I'm going to do that's got lights. But I mean, the typical light setup should be fine.
Well, they seem to have that well taken care of. Also, I noticed that they've got all these speakers, but I don't think they actually need them. It seems whatever you say up on the stage can just be heard clearly everywhere in this room. It carries really nicely. I think maybe the speakers are just for the aesthetic.
I'm gonna try it out. Just gonna get up on stage.
Yep, you were there. So as you step up on stage and look out over the room, you can feel a very slight difference in the way the air feels. It's kind of like how when you're in the shower and you can feel your acoustics are somehow a little bit better. You're getting that vibe up here. Like, you don't need a microphone.
Hello!
Anise, you can hear her perfectly.
Well, clap.
Thank you. That's the most I've sung all week. I didn't even sing. she's just gonna sing like, I don't know, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Okay. Um, so as you're singing it, you you can feel it carrying really nicely. Like you get the impression from Anice's reactions that she's hearing it just fine. Another thing that you notice is that while you're singing it, um, normally when you sing, you have to sort of conserve your voice just slightly because you have to pace it out for a while. But you don't really feel any fatigue or stress at all while you're singing up here.
Huh.
Like something is in real time refreshing you as you go. So you could probably go as hard as you wanted to, longer than you normally could.
Can I do an investigation check to see, like, if I can find what's doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's enough. So those speakers that are sitting up here, they've got sigils on the back of them, like Magecraft circles on them. So they seem to actually be functioning as speakers. They're just also, instead of being speakers in like the normal human sense of does things with magnets to make big sound, they are the focus for the Magecraft that both seems to make you more comfortable and at ease while performing, and also makes the sound go where it needs to go. It's a pretty neat effect.
Oh my god, I need to learn how to do this.
You have
This
some
is
time if you want to
cool.
copy them down.
Yeah! Copy them down.
Okay. You can add a speaker diagram or something to your inventory if you so desire, and then you can later on put some research into maybe figuring out how to do that. Like, you know that Magnificent Mansion is an arcane spell, and bards use arcane magic, so it should be not necessarily within your reach, but at the very least something that you understand how it works, and something that you could possibly, if you can't do it, at least you know the language enough to get someone else to do it for you.
Cool.
It's not as foreign to you as divine magic or nature magic.
Right. I'm gonna hop back on. Well, I'm apparently gonna move the whole map instead. Jump. Woo!
Yep, you hop down.
Anise, you should totally try that sometime. It's really cool.
Oh, I'll take your word for it.
You could totally just sing and it doesn't wear you out at all. Like, I need those in my life.
And then I guess for the final roll of the evening, Anise, give me an intelligence check.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Don't worry about it.
Inspiration. Hey,
Ooh, nice.
I could do a 9.
That is a 9.
Rolled a hemlock accidentally, but it's
That's fine. It's fine. It's a d6. It's kind of funny that Hemlock is like, I'm helping.
Maybe he is. Who knows?
Hemlock discovered the hot dogs that are cut to look like little squids and is happy.
Oh no.
The servants don't seem to understand that they should cut this bird off, and so that's on them.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so that's enough for you to know that, like, back when you were in that other room briefly, before you started looking at the kimono and the other stuff that it had hanging up on the wall, one of the things hanging up in there was a map. And you feel like you'd seen that somewhere before. But you can't place where. There's just something familiar about it. And like at the time when you were looking at the kimono, you were distracted. But now that your mind's wandering, you're getting the impression that maybe you've seen it or something like it before. You just don't know where.
Gonna go back to the kimono room. There was an interesting map that I want to look at.
Oh, okay, I'll come with you.
Okay. New.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Oh no, I zoomed out of my own view.
It was down here, right?
Yeah, it was on the top half of that. The bottom half is the mirrors.
Oh yeah, yeah,
There are
yeah.
like 2 mirrors on that. The top left is where that map is. And
Map, an envelope, and a scroll.
yep. So since you're looking at it, here is a map.
Ooh. Fancy.
Yep. It. Just for clarification, it's not quite as clean as this. Like this is obviously a world map that I found a picture of because I didn't make one out of leather. But the one that you're looking at is very similar to that. It doesn't have the labels on it. It doesn't have the words or like the weird compass rose or anything like that. But it does have circles and a lot of like just little circles drawn on it in places. It's kind of fuzzy through the glass, so you can't make out text, but you can see small text written within the circles, like in kind of like in the frame that we put around tokens and some of the tokens that I use in this game. It's a very, very tiny script that you can't read through the glare on the glass, but you can tell there's something written in it. And they're just circles all over. Like most of them are in Europe, though.
And there's nothing like you don't have like cards like in museums, right? That are like world map burned into leather from this place.
Nope. You don't have any context. You just know whatever it is important.
It's a cool looking map.
I'm gonna approach the mannequin in the crow kimono.
Okay.
Ask what I have to do to get that map.
It does not respond to you.
Didn't think so.
But yeah, there's just something about it. It feels familiar to you. You can't quite place what it is.
Would I roll history, insight, Hana?
Just trying to remember?
Yeah. See why I think it seems familiar.
You could try to roll history with it. Okay. It's not so much the map itself as the little circles on it. You remember some of these locations stand out to you. They're places that you've been before. Not all of them, obviously, because there's a lot on here. But now that you think about it, some of the circles here are places you've been, and one of them is very, very close to where you grew up.
Are they locations I know there to be druidic tribes?
Yeah.
Are they locations I know to have ley lines?
You don't know where all the ley lines in Europe are, but the ones that are overlapping, they do seem to have ley lines.
Is Japan on the map?
On this one? It is, but it's just kind of tiny.
There's not a circle there anywhere?
There's one. It's pretty small. Well, I say there's one. There's a few, but like because it's small, it's really hard to make out through the glass. You're assuming some of these things that look like dots, if you were to get closer and better lighting, would probably be circles. But yeah, you get the impression that you've seen some of these locations before, and that this approach, this burning it into leather like that, reminds you of something that druids do for storing things that essentially need to be more durable than like paper. So you've seen similar things that druids have done for tracking history or information. So this is giving you some real druid vibes in both fronts.
I will remember to keep an eye. maybe try and figure out how I can get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be the mystery for next week.
Woo!
Or I guess whenever we do again, because next week is not Thursday, right?
No.
Yeah, next week is Saturday.
In person.
Yeah.
In person, yeah.
All goes according to.
If everything goes according to plan, it will be in person, and I will have set up the map such that it goes back to working the way I want it to, so that then we can do it the weird way on my TV anyway. But
Yeah.
it'll be fun. You get to explore all the rest of this mansion, or at least some of it.
Yay.
There's entire display rooms you haven't even seen yet.
Yay.
Oh, good. And mysteries. And you got to dick over a Mage Association guy.
Yep.
Always fun.
And
He's
you
got a
still gave him his
phone.
coat back, so now he knows.
He knows.
Oh, look at that little hemlock with the bow. So regal.
Huh?
I've still got the art open from
Hey.
your fancy outfits. Now that you're here, I can update the picture behind the text. So I'll do that for next time, too.
Hooray.
Cool. Well, this was Fun Adventures. So,
Sorry. I dragged the map down onto my shortcut bar.
yeah.
And I get, instead of just being a tiny version of the picture, it'll say image whatever.
Uh-huh.
It just says image, the arse.
That's good.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, the way that I have the notes for this game set up, since I put some things are story, some things are image, some things are whatever. The way that it crops the story for this element for me is story : 004-02 space Lupin Man. Because it just cuts the mansion off. It just says Lupin Man. And I'm like, of course, Lupin Man. The most powerful Lupin-based superhero.
Ooh,
I guess Lupin Man would be a werewolf, right?
probably.
Yeah. Neat. Okie dokie. Well, we are at the good stopping point. So I guess everybody go have fun with Critical Role or something.
Yeah.
Yay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Lord.